I tell my kids this all the time, and I'm guilty of this too. I live in the moment, right? We all live in the moment. Social media has made it worse. You watch something on the phone, you're freaking out. Whenever you're panicking, upset, nervous, anxious, just ask yourself in that moment, 3 weeks earlier, 3 hours earlier, 3 days earlier, would you be freaking out if I'd have told you this was your reality? Or in other words, sometimes we freak out, but if you look at where you are, it's exactly what you would have planned. Okay, I tell my son this, my daughter this all the time. My daughter calls me the other day, I'm bombing math at college. I've got an A, and I'm bombing math. And I said, 3 weeks ago, if I'd have told you as a freshman, you were getting an A minus, and you were struggling a bit in math, would you have freaked out? And they're like, no, because I don't really like math. And I'm like, so you're exactly where you thought you'd be. Get a tutor. Let's work on it. But you're exactly where you're going to be. And by the way, I do this all the time as well. If I would have told you with the Cleveland Browns, who were opening up with Big Ben and the Steelers and Drew Brees and the Saints, you'd be 0-1-1. And if you had a kicker, you'd be 2-0. Would you have been satisfied? Hell yeah. But this morning, you know what I'm hearing? Baker Mayfield. We got to get Baker Mayfield in. Do you realize, Cleveland? You looked at your schedule. You put it down. All right, we'll be 0-2, then we face the Jets. You're 0-1-1. Your defense is now 11th in the league. Because you've been so bad for so long, you have a loaded defensive roster, and now you get to face a rookie quarterback, Sam Darnold, at home on a short week for a Jets offense that has a bad offensive line, is going to get mauled by the Browns. They have a horrible running back set and very mediocre, inconsistent wide receivers. Okay, you're going to be 1-1-1. I don't put this in my Blazing Five because it's a Thursday game. It's the lock of the week. Take the Browns -3. This is a real defense. You got a real defense here. Tyrod Taylor's averaging 220 yards a game. That's what Tyrod Taylor is. You're way above it. You put down in your little pocket schedule 0-2. And then you had yourself beating the Jets. You're going to be 1-1-1. You're a kicker away by Thursday night at 10 o'clock your time. You're a kicker away from being 3-0. So you can't live in the moment. Tyrod Taylor's been exactly what you thought. I don't even think you thought your defense was going to – you lead the NFL in takeaways, by the way. If I'd have told you 2 weeks in, you lead the NFL in takeaways, you have made Drew Brees massively struggle in the dome, and Big Ben have one of his worst games of his career. And by the way, rookie quarterback in a short work that tends to be reckless and a little interception prone coming up next against a team that's loaded on defense, Cleveland, and a team that has virtually no elite personnel on offense, the Jets. You're in a great spot. This is why Hugh Jackson chooses Tyrod Taylor, because Hugh looked at his defense and went, we can be in games. We just don't want to lose games. We don't want to lose games. Yesterday, you didn't lose that game. Your kicker lost that game. You played great. I mean, Cleveland had that game. Tyrod Taylor made an unbelievable throw in that football game to tie that puppy up. Baker Mayfield's a good kid. He's not making that throw. Not yet in the NFL. So, if you're struggling, if you're panicking, if you have anxiety, your kids are freaking out, your mom's freaking out, you're freaking out, just ask yourself. Go back a couple days, couple weeks, couple months. Are you at a place that you would have been satisfied with? Remember, happiness is directly tied to expectations. Don't expect 10-6 or Tyrod Taylor to throw for 340 yards. He's not doing it. That's not who he is. Expect low-scoring football games, to be in them with this defense every week. 6-10 is realistic, maybe 7-9, probably 6-10 in your division. And expect Baker Mayfield to amp up, get ready, and take over about Thanksgiving. That would be very realistic. That's what well-run football teams would do. So Josh Allen of the Bills had some moments yesterday. Sam Darnold, first 2 weeks, 1-1, had some great moments, had some ugly picks. I believe if you ran Cleveland, would you just say, the hell, just go Baker Mayfield?
I would. I don't know. I mean, here's what happened. So yesterday they're winning the football game.
Yeah.
And Tyrod or whatever we're calling him now.
Yeah.
Does the one thing that he can't do, and he turns the football over.
Yeah.
In a one-score game, he turned it over. And he made some big plays too. I mean, he came back, in his defense, makes a great throw.
That's a great throw.
I mean, Cowboy's not even running. And then he sees the ball and he's like, I gotta go get this thing. And that's Taylor just saying, I'm gonna make a play here. So that's great. I think that Baker Mayfield showed enough in the preseason to where you could put him out there. And this team's good enough they could protect him. And he makes throws down the field. He's consistent with those throws. I liked him in the combine. When I went out there and saw him, I was surprised by his arm strength and his ability to throw the football. Tyrod, he's a good player, right? But the ceiling, like we talked about earlier with some other guys, it's not as high. And maybe you don't care. Maybe if you're the Browns, you want to win 5 games. Let's try and win one first, right? But I think that, and in the age we're in now, Baker is ready to go out there.
I would not have drafted Baker, but my takeaway was always there were 3 of these guys that were ready to at least win games. Rosen, who hasn't played yet, Darnold, and Baker.
Yeah.
Now, I think Baker's ceiling's lower, in my opinion, than Darnold's. I
agree with you.
I like Darnold more.
I like Sam a lot.
I think he's a little bigger, a little stronger athlete.
He does more dynamic things from the pocket.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you look at Cleveland's defense, it's really, really interesting.
It is.
So you know that Baker's going to, as long as Baker doesn't throw pick six after pick six, Cleveland's going to be in most of the games they play this year.
I agree. And I think that he knows enough. The game has changed to where when I came out of college, I didn't know. They showed me the playbook. And I said, "This is Chinese. I literally can't read this. Like, this is not what we did in Fresno. We threw slants and screens and threw some fades. But now these guys coming out, they understand the game. They're running pro-style concepts. Not only are they running pro-style concepts, the NFL has stolen some of the college concepts because there's so many good coordinators there.
Yeah.
And they've brought it over. So Baker runs the RPOs, the run pass options. Like, he gets all that. He has great pocket presence. For a young guy. I think the best out of all these guys. Maybe not Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's right up there with him, but you could put a guy like that in there and he can protect himself and then he can grow and get experience and maybe win a couple games for you.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.